More than half of Americans believe the United States is in a recession, and they're putting the blame on President Biden. This is according to a recent Harris poll conducted for The Guardian. The U.S. GDP, though, has increased beyond economists' expectations in 2024, the exact opposite of what would be defined as a recession. So joining us right now is CBS News contributor Javier E. He's the managing editor of business and markets at Axios. So can you paint us a picture of what the economy is actually doing and what is behind this misconception?
Okay, and I'm going to rattle off a couple of numbers. Okay. So first and foremost, you mentioned at the top of the conversation, first quarter growth slowed to 1.6%. That was a little bit softer than what people thought, but it's slower than Q4, 3.3%, still growing. Year over year, GDP last year, 3.1%. Compare that to the year before, 0.7%. This is a really strong economy. And plus, what you'd expect people to think of as recessionary is higher jobs, higher unemployment rather, and slower spending. None of those things are happening. And so this is, again, a really strong economy, but people certainly don't feel it. In sentiment poll after sentiment poll.
What's behind that sentiment? Is it essentially that wages aren't keeping up with inflation?
Wages actually have started keeping up with inflation. So we actually flipped the paradigm sometime last year. And, don't quote me on exactly when, but basically the rates of inflation had started to slow enough so that wages started to finally sort of meet that expectation. The problem is, we talk a lot about inflation. Inflation has cooled, but it has not been defeated. Prices are still rising. People still feel it every day in everything they buy. Grocery store. I think one of the major areas in which prices have come off are like used car sales and retail. But by and large, you're still feeling it. Like if you go to the movies, like you pay a lot of money for just about everything. And that tends to color perceptions about the economy. And that's sort of the prism through which everybody feels or perceives like economic conditions. Like I'm paying so much and I only make so much and my money is not sort of stretching the way that I would really like it to. And we haven't even gotten into the conversation about rent and housing, which is just absolutely unaffordable at this point for a lot of people.
Let's talk about travel. Today's Memorial Day, unofficial start of summer. And so people are saying they're spending more than they want to, but the numbers are showing people are still going on vacation.
And that is the key. It's good old retail therapy. Like $1 trillion worth of credit card debt tells you everything you need to know about what's happening. People are absorbing, not happily, of course, but they're absorbing the price hikes. And the fact that people continue to spend sends a message to all of the service providers that it's okay to continue to raise prices because people are going to eat them. Travel, Memorial Day, holiday travel, people are working a lot remotely still. You can make it into a long weekend. You can go work from wherever you need to work from. And even those that don't have to work remotely, if you have a credit card, why not charge it and think about what you're going to do about the balance in another 30 days or so.
Dangerous territory. Quickly before we let you go, what are you thinking about the rest of the year? I mean, the perception and the reality of how far off a recession is.
Look, the Guardian poll sort of crystallizes exactly what we've been talking about. Sentiment poll after sentiment poll has told us that people really don't like this economy. They really don't feel good about this economy. This is a real danger for an incumbent trying to seek re-election. And every sort of poll says that Biden doesn't get credit for the fact that, we have a stock market that's at record highs. There's a lot that we can say about inflation. But the objective measures by which any incumbent is judged is where's the stock market at? Where's growth at? Where's unemployment? And we are still sort of around the 4% range there. Nothing even remotely recessionary. And again, the official government data has not printed negative in quite some time. And that's the official definition of recession, which is negative growth 2 quarters in a row.
Okay. Javier David coming to us on a holiday. Thank you.
Sure thing.